go. Oh no. Freaking cracked right there. Hey guys, welcome back. So today is going to be marking the official date to start remodeling our bathroom. And we're just going to be doing some repainting and doing some cleaning up of the trim. I got a crack to fill up here. I want to clean it out, fill that up with some mud and a new vanity. So the core of the video is not going to be in the bathroom. The brunt of the video is going to be the vanity here. So let's get out to the shop. So here I've got some honey locust wide edge plank here I want to use for the countertop, the vanity top here, and we're going to be using this as the sink. It's gonna be something kind of like that. And this excess here, I'm going to end up cutting it off somewhere in here. Straighten up this back edge. This is going to just barely work, so waste is going to have to be a minimum. So I'll be at minimum, whatever, however, you know what I mean. So it's going to be sitting kind of, sort of like this. I mean, give or take. The countertop's going to be 42 inches. And this 42 from that corner, because I'm going to have to square that up, I think. It depends on how this is going to work out. 42 from that corner is right in here. So that's going to be, we're going to be cutting it really close. So it will work just barely, which is all I need. This will sit recessed inside there. You'll see how I want to do it here in a bit, but I want to get this slab fixed up and get it cut down to where I want it, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got the bottom side of this slab figured out, laid out and everything. Slab, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, it is an 1 3/4 slab. So the way it's kind of going to lay out is, here is going to be the center of the sink. This is going to be an overall 36.5 inch wide, 31 inches tall, and 14.5 inches deep. Now you can tell, because it's live edge, this little corner here is not going to get contact. So it's not like there's going to be a whole lot of weight at this corner anyhow. There will be that will potentially be a weak spot, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use pocket hole for the upper part of the cabinet to screw into the bottom of this. This is going to be pretty well laid out. I already got dimensions I'm going to need. So now I gotta sort through all the wood and figure out what I plan on using. What I want to end up doing is splitting this up in half. I'm going to build what is right underneath the vanity first, underneath the sink first, and then build the drawers second, and then be able to attach it to the other side of the cabinet later. The reason why I'm wanting to do it that way is because I think it's going to be a little bit easier for me to be able to build them independently and then put them together later on. That way I can focus on one and then the other, because I don't do this very often, so I want to have to figure both of them out independently and then put them together, which I got in the way to be able to do that, I've learned. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the face of this one. That way I have a reference point and be able to go from there on what I need to do. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. So this cabinet is going to be, well, the box is going to be 29.5 inches tall. It's going to be 22 inches wide. So 29.5 inches tall, and
lot of boring math later.
29.5 inches tall and 22 inches wide. What I'm using here for material is pine, I think it is. Pallets. All right, sue me, okay? It's free wood, so you want to go ahead and use it. And because it's just what I have readily available, and it's easy to work with to some extent. It is kind of bowy, I will have to admit it is kind of bowy. Yeah, close enough. So that gets me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dowels in here. Probably more than enough, but with me planning on using 1/4 inch, I'm wanting to make sure that I got enough in here, but not a whole lot. I'm gonna end up using this jig to do up my holes for the dowels. So I gotta get that set up and then go from there. So I went ahead and glued it all together, put the dowels in for alignment, got the ends cut up and squared off. So, and now I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out to get it set up so I actually assemble the face of this. So in the process of this, I'm going to end up using deck screws to hold these together, along with running through some dowels through this, some 3/8 dowels, just to help keep it from, especially here, keep it from bowing more. I know that the dowels running this way will help it, but just to keep it a little bit more stiff. To help cover up my screws, my screws are going to be obviously recessed into here, and then I'm going to chase it with, well, I have to anyways, chase it with a 1/2 inch dowel, because the 1/2 inch dowel is big enough to cover this up, to fill this up. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. So it will work. I got 1/2 inch dowels to use, so why not use them? I guess it's going to clamp together. I guess I'll have to clamp it together. I don't know why that one's so much. I don't know. Okay, so there's that. Oh, crap! I did not glue that. There. Forgot to throw extra glue on this. Thing is now dry enough, and there's going to be plenty of fine tuning to do up, sanding and whatnot, but that will be later on. Right now I'm going to go ahead and focus on building the side walls. So what I have available is going ahead and making it them 14 inches wide. I'm going to be using dowels. I think these are 2 inch or inch and a half dowels to go ahead and go 1/4 inch to go ahead and go in between them, just to help stiffen the boards up and help me get them lined up a little bit better. So we're going to see how this works. So let's go ahead and jump onto it. So I'm finally going to be able to use my pocket hole jig, and I finally got the drivers for it. So I gotta get set up for the bottom of the back. so that that board has something to, let's at the inside, has something to sit on the back side. And gonna have to do a little bit of something different, I think, for that, but not too much. So I have to get that set up, and because I gotta have to avoid the water lines coming in. The drainage is actually inside the wall, so that kind of helps out a little bit there. Alright, so finally ready for some assembly here. Gotta try to do this by myself, but we'll have to see how this goes. Alright, so it's pretty much well assembled here, and this thing is actually getting pretty interesting. So I'm at a point to where all I have to do is the base here, and I want to do it up the same way I did the side panels here, the dowels and everything. So I want to go ahead and get this done up tonight, get it glued and sitting for the night. Come back tomorrow and go ahead and get it cut down to size and seated in here. And hopefully by that time, I'm going to have the tracks for the drawers, so I can go ahead and get started on the second half of this. Fingers crossed, come end of next week, this cabinet's going to be done. So let's go ahead and jump ahead a little bit here.
Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
So I was measuring out for the bottom to be able to get it laid out and get my measurements, and something wasn't quite right. My measurement of would be here for this piece was going to be 15 and 15 and a half or something like that. Well, if you may have remembered, that was 15 and a half was supposed to be my overall depth here. So I guess I'm overhang. I'm gonna have to, all this bracing in the back, I'm gonna have to completely redo. So I'm just going to get my final measurement and just flip it on its side and just rip it all the way down. So, alright, now we're going to go ahead and get this fixed and then work on the bottom. Wait, so you've already basically seen that. So now we're going to be going over to getting this front for the drawer set up, and got the side rails cut up here to size. These ones have 29 and a half, of course, 2 inches thick. My in-betweens for the drawers are going to be 3 inch, and I got to rip more down and run it through the table saw and get them ready to cut down to size. And I got to end up making them 10 3/4 of an inch long. So I've got to get that set down and then go ahead and start getting these assembled. It is done there for now, and that side. Next, we're moving on to getting the side on and getting it mounted to the side of this cabinet and getting it laid out and everything to make sure everything's square, and getting this back done up like I did here similarly. Then I'm going to start working on the drawers and door and everything from there. And let's just go ahead and jump straight on to getting it assembled, drawers put together, and getting the door put on. So guys, I kind of forgot to record most of what just happened. So let me get you caught up. So this is starting to look a lot more like a vanity. And this is the drawer section. It's screwed in. I've got, I don't know if you can see them, I got 3 screws across the top there, there, and there, along with 3 down at the bottom. Here, right down there. I've also got 3, oh, no, wait. They're over here. They're on this side. I got 3 going up the side here on the inside. And I kind of screwed up, but I'm making it work. As you can tell, this is recessed back a little bit. I goofed up somewhere this side panel, and I got my measurement wrong, or I cut it wrong, or whatever. And it wound up not being right, so I made it work and made it flush in the back here. And so it's gonna work. It's gonna freaking work.
Hey guys!
This is the only thing I don't majorly like, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. That's also why I did the slab the way I did. So this is at the bottom. I got some minor things to do this evening before I wrap up for the day. So just some final detail stuff, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. So yeah, next on to the to-do list is the drawers and the door and the faux drawer, the fake drawer here. So yeah, let's get on to that, and hopefully I'll remember to record it. Alright, so these little guys. This idea kind of came across as kind of late. Not late, but kind of hit me. This is going to be the track system for the drawers. Mainly because I can't find any that are short enough to be able to work for this cabinet. And it will actually fit, the bottoms of the drawers will actually fit just inside of these. And as you saw, I wound up using a router. And typically what I normally had done was a 2-piece, where I would just simply know my spacing and just do that, whatever the thickness is. And I wanted to do something different with this. So this is actually what I came up with. And I don't really like these sharp edges too much, so I'm going to use this little mini plane, this little palm planer, and knock down those edges. I'm also going to do the same thing with the joints I'll be going in here of the drawer bottoms. That way it gives it's less of a chance of binding up, I think, but we'll see. So yeah, just going to knock this out real quick and then go ahead and get these hung up inside there. So this is the last drawer, and it kind of came out pretty good. Oh, and they all are interchangeable, so we can orient it however we want. So now, since those are done, now I gotta work on the door and the faux drawer cover, but that's gonna be tomorrow. So going to go ahead and move on onto that next. After talking with my wife, we decided to go ahead and go the longer route and make it an actual hardwood instead of using that 1/4-inch plywood. So we'll go ahead and get on to getting that done up and go from there. So I freaking messed up, guys, but as you can see, my gapping is not freaking right, but oh well. That major gap down there. But plus side is I'll just have this on the outside and have this on the inside. So the only time you'll ever see it is whenever the door is opened. And I went ahead and threw on the faux drawer. You can barely see it there. Glued it on, and I went ahead and threw some screws on the inside here just to be able to keep it in place and everything. And now I'm at the point of starting to mess with the countertop. And then once I get done with that, it will be final sanding at that point. So we are getting closer to being done. Jump on over to the countertop and start getting the sink set up, start getting all the placement ready, and then start sanding. There we go. Oh no. Freaking cracked right there. Dadgummit. I was afraid of that, but wasn't wanting for it. So, moment of truth, though. No, dadgummit. So I got quite a bit of a gap on a lot of this, which is what I was worried about, and that's the crack there. So, oh man, dadgummit. Well, I want to see how I can make this work.
3 days later.
Alright, so to give you guys a bit of an update, I was pretty heated the last time. And I was pretty heated a few minutes ago. So, went and get you caught up with what's going on here now, since it's been a little bit now. It's actually been a few days. So, the top is now pretty well sanded down, and everything's sanded down. That is now permanently fixed to the cabinet because some of the pocket screws I was using, the freaking head stripped out on me, so it's in there now. So, and to cover my my incompetency here on the oversized hole, I'm going to be using this rope and to mostly cover what's going on here. And it should freaking work. Now what I'm going to be using to keep that down, to keep the sink down inside, is this construction adhesive. This should freaking work. Down here, underneath it, I'll probably end up putting some across here and over here, along with on these boards as well. This is also kind of to help fill in the gap. So this was I just completely screwed up, and it's just, I'm gonna make this freaking work and kind of cover up my freaking mistakes. So now I am going to go ahead and start getting this stuff set up and running. Finally, hopefully be able to start getting stuff, make it look more like a freaking vanity. But before I get too much farther, I've got to punch in the drain for this. And it also does officially now hold water. So I put some caulking down on the bottom seam, so we're good now. Alright, so I've been having a bunch of technical difficulties with the camera and the SD cards. So I got a whole bunch of, I shouldn't say necessarily a whole bunch of other stuff, but I got it pretty much ready to go in except for the piping. I gotta wait on that because money. So let me show you what I got here. I got all the handles on. You can see over there as well for the drawers. The door is working. These hinges, this is like the second or third pair of hinges I had on here. I was having issues with them, trying to make this work, and that is the best that I can do for this. So these drawers these drawer handles came out pretty nice, and oh yeah, that too. I'll show you. I'll get to this here in a minute. But yeah, the handles came out pretty good on the drawers. I did do a boiled linseed oil coating on this, and hopefully it's going to work out in the manner I'm hoping. I'll probably end up putting a few more coats on it here in the next week or so, and just to kind of help seal it the best I can, because I don't have anything else readily available for sealing on this. So this rope is to go around the base here of the sink to help conceal this gap around the edges here, especially here around the back, because yeah, I just really freaking screwed up on that. But oh well, it is what it is. I learned, okay guys, I learned. Oh well, I'm never gonna claim I'm a professional. I did it here in the back, give myself just enough room to run the pipe up in on the back side of this, up between the sink and the wall. So I'll have to bore it in from the top to make it work. We went ahead and got the valves that we planned on using red. They only came in red, but I had some blue paint. I went ahead and took this nut off, the center nut, popped this piece off and painted it up for blue for cold, and I just left this one as red. This is actually my wife's idea. It was a freaking brilliant idea, because we just could not find blue in this style. So props to her for freaking thinking about that, just simply pulling it off and painting it. So yeah, that was a pretty good freaking idea. So we're going to go ahead and move on inside. Next time you see this, we'll be getting it installed inside. We'll be pulling the trim and everything, and getting it sanded down here before long, probably this weekend. And this is going to be a long, drawn-out process, but I'll be getting this installed here next week, and well, should be wrapping it up at that point. So let's go ahead and jump onto installation. So guys, it is finished. I am really happy about the way this thing turned out, and I did throw some of this rope in there, just hot glued it into the seam there, just kind of hold to cover up the transition from the sink to the countertop. Here's the faucet I plan on using. Got cold, we got hot. Yeah, they freaking work. I am happy. So yeah, this came out really freaking well. So now we just need to get the old vanity out. We gotta get some of the trim out of the way so that this can sit up against the wall, and then go ahead and get this on inside. So let's go ahead and get to it. So if you don't remember, this is what we're dealing with right now. And now to this. So this has officially been put in. It actually panned out pretty freaking nicely. There is a few predicaments. We did have to, I did have to take this back off and fix some leaks, but that wasn't that big of an issue. The main issue is that this sink is retaining some water. So I'm not really sure what we're gonna have to do about that. I don't know what we're gonna do about it. So keep that in mind if you ever decide to go about this way. Just keep in mind of water retention, because that is an issue. I probably could have done this differently, but I'm not real sure how to do the drains and something like this. So there's that as well. This has been a major freaking project for me, and it came out a lot better than what I expected. Oh, might as well show you that it works. So yeah, and the hot. And I did manage to get straight in line with that. Down here, everything panned out pretty good. So yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed this project. It was a long project to do up, and in the process of doing this video, I managed to hurt my hand. If you've been following too much on Facebook, you would know. Ran my hand through the joiner and chewed it up pretty good a couple weeks ago. So that set me back as well. It is what it is. But I am healing up pretty good. I don't know if you can see it real well on camera, but right across here and my thumb. So if you want to go ahead and check out the socials, down I'll have them linked down in the description. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I got all those. I'll have them all linked down in the description. So let's go ahead and jump onto the video verse. This video verse is John chapter 4, verses 1 through 26. It says, when Jesus learned that the Pharisees had heard he was making and baptizing more disciples than John, though Jesus himself was not baptizing, but his disciples were, he left Judea and went again to Galilee. He had to travel through Samaria, so he came to a town of Samaria called Sychar, near the property that Jacob had given his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, worn out from his journey, sat down at the well. It was about noon. A woman of Samaria came to draw water. "Give me a drink," Jesus said to her, because his disciples had gone into town to buy food. "How is it that you, a Jew, ask for a drink from me, a Samaritan woman?" she asked him. For Jews do not associate with Samaritans. Jesus answered, "If you knew the gift of God, and who is saying to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would ask him, and he would give you living water." "Sir," said the woman, "you don't even have a bucket, and the well is deep. So where do you get this living water? You aren't greater than our father Jacob, are you? He gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did his sons and livestock." Jesus said, "Everyone who drinks from this water will get thirsty again. But whoever drinks from the water that I will give him will never get thirsty again. In fact, the water I will give him will become a well of water springing up in him for eternal life." "Sir," the woman said to him, "give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and come here to draw water." "Go call your husband," he told her, "and come back here." "I don't have a husband," she answered. "You are correctly said. I don't have a husband," Jesus said, "for you've had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have said is true." "Sir," the woman replied, "I see that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews say that the place to worship is in Jerusalem." Jesus told her, "Believe me, woman, an hour is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, because salvation is from the Jews. But an hour is coming, and is now here, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. Yes, the Father wants such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth." The woman said to him, "I know that the Messiah is coming, who is called Christ. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Jesus told her, "I, the one speaking to you, am he." And that is John chapter 4, verses 1 through 26. Thank you for watching, and hope to see y'all in the next one.